I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My family's on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the result. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was scarred with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's number one T rocking this universe. Your main man, Uncle Freezy, and welcome to the premiere Knicks in the Nighttime joint, the Knicks at Night podcast. Y'all know who I am, right? Y'all know it, but do you know who this is next to me?
Cowboy Bob, ladies.
Cowboy Bob is in the building. Salute. Hey, Cowboy Bob said he got something to say, and I'm here for it, right? So I'm going to shut up and let Cowboy Bob cook. Y'all come on in here, man. Get ready. Cowboy Bob get ready to expand on something he has been telling me. Salute, everybody.
Now, I'm not going to lie. This all started with Uncle Freezy. His idea, Brunson's a superstar. And I'm like, he's like, no, he's a megastar. I'm like, he's a superstar. He's a good player. After time, his words sunk in. He saw something that most of us don't see. So I'm here to bring it to light. Because I know last week on the show, I said Brunson can do 48% from the field goal. He can do 41% from three. And he can also do 90% from the free throw line. And to say all of that, that's a lot. But here's the catch. I actually got stats to prove and actually show why Brunson is needed. And I'm also going to break down his isocentric that everyone talks about, his heliocentric skills and how it's affecting our team. Y'all will be surprised at what I got to say. Most of it's going to be about Brunson, but it's also the projection of the starting five I have. Now, we're going to start off with our captain, the one and the only, Sir Jalen Brunson. So I'm going to tell you what he did last season. First thing he did last season was 48.8% from field goal. I already said that that's what he should be doing. So he already did it last year. I didn't even know that. 38% from three. He averaged 26 points a game, 7 assists, 3 rebounds, and 70% of his offense was unassisted. So everybody's like, yo, heliocentric, his defense needs to work on it, right? So in 65 games, in a total of 610 possessions, which is 11 less than Trae Young, but more than Harden, Booker, and Tatum, who had at least 72 games, he was still playing 8th in the league. Top 8 as far as possession. Remember, I said heliocentric. Cool. 40% of his offense was basically, we used him. 40% of our offense was from Brunson alone. But he was 45% off of that type field goal. So when you look at it, it's basically saying 40% of our offense came from one person, our captain. And when we trusted him, he was 45% from the field. Now, this is bad because, 40% of the offense coming from one player can be very, very dangerous. And like y'all said, heliocentric, right? But I'm going to show you how it's good. If you look at how Brunson's half court was last year, but at the end of December, he was 98% a half court scorer, 98 percentile, and 99 percentile in shot creation. Now, the thing about our team, what we see is we were stagnant a lot, but this was the one guy that created his own shots. And he's 99 percentile. That's like Luka. That's like Shea. That's like top 3 in the league. So, and there's very few people. There's not even more than 5 people that are like that at the guard position. But he was one of them, and he plays for us. But if you look at how he plays, anywhere from 10 feet from the basket to 19 feet unassisted, this guy is dangerous. So I got some stats right here. 5 feet from the basket, he's 61%. 5 to 9 feet from the basket, he's 50%. 10 from 14, he's 54%. 15 to 19 feet, he's 45%. 20 to 24 feet, he's about 35%. And then 25 to 29, he's 40%. So if we can help him out with getting better at the 20 to 24 area, which is quick off screens, quick ball actions, where he's off ball, we can get those numbers up. He can actually hit 30 points because remember, last year he did 26. So if you could get him more off ball, quick shots to the basket, he's good. But when you look at him in the restricted area, he's 64%. If you look at in the paint, non-restricted, he's 53%. What are y'all talking about? This is the guy you want to have the ball in his hands. We had Carmelo Anthony, and Melo we all praised and said is a scorer. But this little dude, he's just as dangerous. So when you look at him in the left corner threes, he only took 25 attempts. He was 28%. You look at the right corner threes, he was 34 attempts. He was 50%. He didn't do too well. In those areas, we can go ahead and use other players. Like who? OG. OG shot in those areas. He shot 38% from left, and then he shot 40% on the right. Now OG's offense could step up. I'm going to continue with just sticking on Brunson. So Brunson last year took a total, and this is jump shots. He took 1,052 attempted shots. These are all jump shots, shooting, bank shots, whatever you want to call. But when he got to the rack, he only did 275 layups. Basically layups, finger rolls, whatever you want to call them. And he was 61% at that type of shooting. That's why I kept telling y'all we need him off ball in the half court offense. Because if he's getting it and going straight to the basket, that's a high percentage right there. 61% is really, really high. So now you sit there and say, okay, how are we going to deal with the ball controlling? That's easy. For me, I want to incorporate bridges, and I want to incorporate the bench. Most people don't understand if we're running 40% of our offense through Brunson, it should be in the half court. Bridges, I say we should get him more involved, like 35% of the ball control. All Bridges has to do is control the ball from getting from inbound to half court. And then we could run plays for where Brunson can come off screens. Brunson can get the ball. We do that. Now Brunson is using more of his energy to hit.
Who's going to be ball handling while Brunson does that?
Oh, Bridges. I got Bridges who's going to be the one bringing it up when we see that they're trapping Brunson and he can't get out. We're going to give it to Bridges. And we can run a 3-man stagnant. What's that mean? First option would be Brunson to get the ball. But like when Miami did 2 years ago, when Brunson was getting the ball, you would see the late defender come in and sneak. In these moments, the inbounder needs to be aware of that. So this is when we would go to Bridges. So then now we would use Bridges just to push the tempo up. And we all know how good in that tempo mode. OG's a great cutter. We also even know that Cat is also a great screener. So if Bridges is coming up, Cat could give him a screen. And on the opposite side, you will see OG running down to get that cutting pass. So I want the ball not out of Brunson's hands entirely. I just want it to be easier to where when he's in that, he could get to the half-court offense. And the rest, so ball control would be 35% through Bridges, 40% through Brunson, and I'm going to break it up the remaining 35% between Bridges and Kolek when Brunson's not on the court. That way we have a balance here of 4 players controlling the ball. This is what I've been talking about, and I say the reason why we use Kolek is because we can add value to him. He may not be good for us, but neither was RJ, neither was Quickly, neither was Grimes, neither was Sims. But we got great value for them, and we could use them. We could use Kolek, show what he can do, and then go ahead and be like, "Yo, we could trade him by the end of this, by mid-season if we need be to get more value for playoffs." But again, like I said, I think that it's a work in progress. But Kolek will do the right thing. With that being said, if you look at it, his 2 best players that gave Brunson the most assists, Josh Hart when he was starting with 55 assists. And then when you also look at Bridges gave him 39 assists. So now what I'm incorporating, why I say let's Bridges do it, because he already shows he can pass the Brunson in the right position. He can give Brunson the right scoring he needs.
What type of assists were those though? Were those open court transition assists, or were
Yes.
those assists executed in half court where one of those guys played lead guard?
19 of them was 19 out of the 39 was open court assists, and then 20 was in the half court. So he's almost 50-50. If we're going to call it, if you're just going to call it the way it is. But that right there can help you out. And even Cat gave him 34 after a screen, where Cat would give him a screen. Cat had 34 assists. They said 14 of them was coming off of a screen. He would give Brunson a screen. He would catch it on the cut and then kick it back out to Brunson, and Brunson would make a three-pointer. 14 times that worked. And then the other 20 was when Brunson would sag behind him and he would kick it back, or he would get him in motion to where Brunson's already in the spot and pull up. So you have a mixture of how we can keep feeding Brunson without him even having the ball, which makes it even more dangerous because now he's not exerting energy, bringing the ball up, trying to set the tempo. Now with Packham, that's what I'm going to say about Brunson. Now Packham, Unc's baby, Unc's nephew. His job, what I want is to do...
Freezy Jr.
Yep, Freezy Jr. I want him to do what Bridges did as far as defense. Now, everybody going to be like, what? You putting that much trust in a young kid? First of all, this kid played overseas. This kid has very good footwork as far as a defender his age. And with his young age, he has the speed to where his skill and speed can make up for his necessities. For example, he may not be able to stay in front of you, but he could get to the spot and still contest it better because of his athleticism. And they'll come with over time. So what I want him to do is play defense, full court. I'm using him full court press. Donovan Mitchell's inbounding the ball, Packham's on him. The reason why is because I want to do a 1-2-2 defense. What does that mean? The first ball pressure would be Packham Dottier. You look on your left side, you can have Brunson. You look on your right side, you have Mikal Bridges. You look on the back end, you can have OG, who can help Brunson on that side, because Brunson and Bridges are very dangerous, as we all know. But you have him helping out on that strong side. So if Brunson gets beat or gets screened, OG can sneak up. Then you also have Bridges on the opposite side behind Cat. Cat can rebound, and if the guy steps up, all Cat got to do is just put his hands up, and as tall as he is, he's going to get them blocks. So now you look at the defense, you put so much pressure on the ball, similar to what OKC did with Alex Caruso, but we're doing it with a taller guard, and we're also doing it with a guy who's defensive first. Also, remember what I said earlier about those corner threes. Packham, he could get about 2 or 3 of those shots. I'm not expecting him to score 12 points, anything like that. No, his main purpose is defense to help out Brunson. Because if Brunson's the secondary defender and he's not under the basket getting charges, what's he going to do when he's on the left side of the wing? If Packham's here playing tight defense and that passing lane gets cut off, what did we see when Brunson was playing against, I think it was 2 years ago? He got a steal off of just reading the passing lanes. That's what you want him to do. You want him to keep his head up down court. So then that way, Packham's on the dude, they try to pass it, Brunson can get that steal quick, fast, in a hurry. Now when we get back on defense, we're resting because we see these angles. So you'll have Brunson on the corner with Bridges on one side, and then on the back end, you'll have OG, and then you'll have Cat. And then at the top, you have Packham. His young age, his ability to recover, his footwork will improve, especially under a guy like we have in Brown. He's going to use him. Same way he used Malik Monk. Everyone's like, oh, Malik Monk's offense. He can do that too with his defense. So that's what I want with Packham. So for me, I like Packham in that position. And also, it also helps out with kick out threes. It helps out with the schemes. You could do pickoff passes. Him putting that much pressure up front. You could even have Mikal Bridges on the back end, where if he puts pressure when they inbound the ball and they can't get across half court, Mikal Bridges can go on that strong side, cover that side, and Brunson could force up to where now they don't have enough time to actually take a shot because they wasted 10 seconds trying to bring the ball up. They got 14 seconds left on the clock. You really can't do too much with that. And you put so much pressure, you can create turnovers as a team with just those three up there. because you got your two guys, one strong defense who can read really well in Bridges, and then Brunson who's quick and can read the passing lanes. So now you put those three guys up front. You have OG and Cat sagging off. Also, I have the way he could fight through screens can also help Brunson, because when they come with the screens, a lot of things I notice about Packham. When the screen is here, Packham would use his outer hip and swing around the defender and not cross his feet, but swing around to where he can get around it enough to disturb it. That's really good, and I'm going to show you why when I get to OG, what I think he should do when it comes to screen. Because a lot of times OG was doing this, and that's not really good for a guy his size. But Packham, he can do that. He could put pressure on a Donovan Mitchell. Don't want him on Darius Green. I'd rather have Brunson helping out, because if they inbound the ball to Mitchell, Packham on him, his height, his athleticism, and his width can slow him down to where it could disrupt him to where when he passes, Brunson could steal a pick from a pass to Garland. It forces a team like Cleveland to do certain things. And with a guy like Packham on him, when we're playing against Trae Young, which we all know he's a Knick killer, Trae Young ain't going to get that ball off in those quick shots like he used to. You see what I'm saying? So that's Packham's goal. I'm not going to use him for anything else but defense. Now, I got Mikal Bridges. My dude Bridges, my ninja. I love this dude, man. As bad of a season as everyone says he had, this dude shot 50% from the field. That's even better than our main dude. Yeah, he only got 17 points per game. But to me, that's efficiency as hell. He also gave us 35% from three, but where he was special at was on the side threes, like, directly on the sides. He was 40% on the left, and I think 39% on the right. So he's really good in that. So if he's bringing up the ball and he brings it up to the center court and Brunson gets it, Cat can give him a screen. He could sag off to the side. And if Cat cuts to the basket after the screen and Brunson passes him, he could kick it out to him and he could get a wide open three. Those are what we want as far as schemes for Bridges. And I'm not expecting Bridges to give us 30 points or anything. I'm okay with where he's at, because that 50% is what we're going to need when we get hot. We've seen it. We've seen it against third quarter. I think it was the Blazers, where he got hot, dropped 20 points in like one quarter, and then just went cold. We need those for runs, because I think our bench still has a good defense. So he played all 82 games. He will be the second defender with less pressure on the ball, so he can see more and scheme more. So he'll be more comfortable in that defensive role, and he'll be helping out to where him and OG we already know are good, but with a guy like Packham, young age, putting him out there, I'm telling you, it's going to work. The job is to help him on the strong side, on the weak side defense with Packham. He can shoot better from three-pointers, like I told you he did in Brooklyn. If he gets the right cuts, the right schemes, and gets better looks. I'm not expecting him to shoot 41%. I'm just expecting like 38%. It's only 3% more. Maybe like 5 more shots. Maybe like 3 more actual good three-point shots that he can make. His defense will be best for the lanes. Like I've been saying, him and Brunson would be running a similar type of cutting pass. We're gonna run the 1-2-2 defense, like I said. Also, when you have Cat on the low post, it helps out a lot, because now Cat doesn't have to really close out on threes. Why? Because Bridges is going to be blocking that passing lane, same way Brunson is. So the side corners that we used to see where people would cut in and then kick out to the side and they would have wide open threes, you can't do that, because you got OG whose footwork can keep and put pressure there. And as they're doing that, Cat can leak out and see the passing lane, or Cat can defend. So we can have these guys in the right position just to be there to create enough of a problem to where you can't get those easy looks. So now we don't have to worry about as bad as closeouts with them. When you also look at what else Bridges can do, if, let's say, Packham's getting burned, you could switch him out and put Bridges on the front. And then now is the time you would use Brunson to bring the ball up. So then now he's the main defender, Packham's on the weekend, and then you still got Brunson up top. Reason why I like Packham is his height and his young skill, and the fact that he also is really good as being the second defender, because every time I see him, his head is up and he's looking in his peripheral for that pass. So him and Brunson would be great with that. Also, it could also help with high and low post screens with the competition. What else do I have? Wait, hold on. could be second. I want OG and Bridges together, but on opposite sides. Why? Because the thing is they can tandem each other. When they were playing together in the playoffs, Bridges and OG, they had a 99% defensive rating. That's like one of the greatest to have. So if you have them in tandem, on you have one up high and one down low, that's a lot. Look at where my hands are. You're gonna be like this. You could only go one side, and who's on the other side? You got two other guys, and you can't bring it down low because you got Cat right there. So those two angles right there, they're gonna cover way more of the passing lane underneath the basket, and it'll be better for them too because, like I said, OG would be down low boxing out. Now I'm gonna talk about OG, the guy who I think is nasty. The reason why I like OG, what I see is he does a lot of cuts. What we need to do is keep him moving on offense. If we keep him moving on offense, setting up backdoor screens under the basket, coming out for 3-pointers because he gets a screen underneath the basket and comes out to the corner threes, he can hit those shots because that's where he was efficient. And remember, I think it was February or March where he was getting like 20, he was 28%, he had 20 points and like he was 39% or 38% from three. And he was just raking. We were seeing him dunking on people. We were like, oh, that OG's nasty. We want to do that, but in spurts because we can use him the same way we use Bridges as far as their offense to create runs. Get those two guys 4 points here, 6 points there. Now everybody's going to start putting pressure on them. Brunson's going to start eating. So when it comes to OG, I just think he needs to keep working without the ball, keep constant cuts, backdoors mostly, setting delay and decoy screens. He can shoot 38% from three. Him and Towns will also read a lot of defense and set up traps, which will be perfect. But when it comes to offense, he'll be good on a fast break and putbacks too. Because if one side is strong, OG likes to cut around and gets the tip in or dunk on someone. Now, one thing I do notice, I brought up earlier about how I've seen OG go like this and he be pushing people and he's way too physical. I love that. But let's be smart about it. What I learned, and I'm just saying from watching basketball, seeing Jordan, seeing all of them, is how you take on screens and how you deal with box outs. And there's a little trick that most people, I don't even think they teach it anymore. So if the defender's like this and he's standing there straight up, what you can do is take your elbow, because you know the screen's coming. Once you see the screen and you see him, take your elbow, put it right here across his chest. Bend your elbow. Don't extend it. Keep your elbow bent. Now, remember, he's on your back. You swing out your inside foot, keep the arm out. When you do that, you cut off the passing lane, but you also lock the defender behind you that's setting you the screen. Because remember, you're already in box out mode. And if it's at the 3-point line, his player has to go back this way. So all you got to do is stick out your arm to help, or he's going to come into that weak side. Now, when he does that, you can swing your inside foot to go out. Now you can cover ground, and then he has to cut back to go into his own man. Because remember, you're sitting here like this. So when he goes in, you're putting pressure right to where Packham or Brunson would come over and help. You see what I'm saying? So that now you create that passing lane. The defense, just your hand being there, they can't make that pass. Because you could go down, you could go up. Even if he cuts to get a shot on, you could still put your hand up. But you're not sitting there pushing and fighting through screens. I still like him doing that. He's really good at spinning around it as well. But if he does that, you can hold that defender at the top of the key to where you can get a better angle of cutting for rebounds as well as controlling your man. And you're just sitting on him because you squat and you put him in that position. It's very hard for him to move because if he moves out of that screen, beep, you got to whistle. So that's what I was
saying. Does the same thing apply for Mitchell Robinson?
You had to drop kick me there because you know I hate his footwork.
No, I'm following. I just want to make sure that I'm really following.
Yeah, it could work the same thing for Mitchell Robinson. And it's even better for Mitch because we seen Mitch what he did with Tatum in the playoffs. How he stood right in front of him, created enough of a problem to where when OG picked up, he then came over and Bridges got the steal. Yeah, that could work with him and it'll help him with his footwork as well because we know Mitch can get in there. But I want OG there. Now, I already talked to you about 4 players and we're going to talk about Cat. Everybody talks about Cat. It's a shame, man. This guy is amazing. So he gave us 24 points last year, 13 rebounds, 52% from the field. And you guys are like, wow, he could shoot the three for a big. Nah, I'm sorry. I think we overlooked that. We were fascinated by when he was hitting it. But 17%, we got to work on that, big guy. But 24 points, if we work on your threes, you can even get 30. Because you think about it, 17%, he's giving you 24 points. That's 1 or 2 more threes he's making. That's 30 right there. So you can actually have 2 players averaging 30. And here's another thing. Cat was only 30% of our offense. So you got Brunson at 40, Cat at 30. That's 70% of our offense, which it should be, because they are our key guys and they are our superstars. But also 80% from the free throw, and he averaged 1.5 steals a game. This is a big, averaging 1.5 steals. The best guy in Atlanta, Johnson, was averaging 3. He's doing half of the work. That's why I said the defense he can read if you have him playing back and cutting off those lanes. Like I said, set him up, because he was doing 1.5 steals. So for me, he probably get 2 steals because he'll be more lenient and it'll be quicker because he could get the ball, throw it down. Brunson or Packham will be just down there already, just because they're already up. Third in box out. This is the funny part. He's third in box out. And Sabonis is first, my guy. But Sabonis is 38% in boxing out. He's only 20%. We can get that up. It'll even help him out even better, because that second chance opportunities that helps him out on even getting more defensive rebounds. Because don't get me wrong, I love him with his offense, but we want him to get as much defensive rebounds to take the ball out of the opposing team's hand. He's 10th in defensive rating for a center that played in 72 games. And that's even higher than everyone who says Gobert is a great defensive center. Gobert played 72 games. He played better as a defensive rating than him last season. And that was his teammate the previous season before that. So in a Tibbs situation where everybody was saying Cat was soft, Cat was this, he's 10th in defensive rating as a center, but better than Gobert. Okay. Second in minutes played under Jokic, 35 minutes, which is impressive. When you also, everybody says, oh, the 78 fouls in the playoffs. Come on. We know how that is. He got emotional. So for me, I think that we can work that out. Off-ball defense and recovery stepped up since the last 2 seasons. When he played 2 years ago with the Minnesota Timberwolves, it went up, and it even got better this year. So that means a lot of his defense and a lot of his step-ups will be perfect. What I want to do is, everyone says the only thing we got to worry about is pretty much health. The reason why I got these guys doing this is so they can be comfortable within their zones. All you got to do is focus on your zone, and as a team, we will work together. Like we used to always say, next man up, next man up. If I put pressure on you and I'm doing a good job, but I know I'm going to get beat, I got my man behind me who's going to step up. And once he step up, I can recover. And that can create some stuff. So when you look at health, I'm not asking you guys to play more minutes. I'm not asking these guys to sit here and do what Tibbs did. Look at Cat. Cat played 35 minutes. That's what you want from your starters. You want 30 to 35 minutes. And from that, I could guarantee you, if we work on schemes and constant motion, even though everyone says we play heliocentric with Brunson, it's going to open up the offense a lot for us. And it's going to be easier. Guys are going to be coming down, boom, hitting shots, more efficiency, less attempts. Not saying like Brunson's going to shoot, he's only going to shoot 900 shots. I'm saying he may shoot like 1,000, but that's 54 less than what he did the previous season, and his efficiency and percentage will go up. And I think that with all of this that I'm saying, I know it's a lot, and I've been rambling for about 25, 30 minutes, like I told you I always do. I think Brunson, if he does this, because his mentality isn't about, oh, I need this and I need that. He's like, how can we get it done? You look at how Tibbs used to run practices. Tibbs never ran practice. It was always film. He would call people out. Hey, what is this? What's that? What do you guys see? What do you see that I don't see? And that mentality is still there to this day, to where these players, when they see Brown, they're going to question him. Hey, we saw this. What do we do here? How do we do this? And the knowledge that they share is going to be more communication that, like Bridges wanted. It's going to be more breakdown. You're going to see more of it being easier, because instead of trying to guard a man one-on-one, you're only guarding 25% of the court or 20% of the court. And that's easier, especially with these guys having a smaller area to cover with their foot speed. So for me, that's the starting five I wanted to talk about. And I kind of want to hear what you got to say, because I know I said a lot for 30 minutes.
Nah, man. You in your bag. Yeah, bro. I got quite trust me, I got stuff to talk about.
Okay.
Right? But yeah, I think there's some more deep diving there.
Yeah.
Maybe you letting your foot off the gas.
Yeah, and then now let's talk about the bench. Everyone's like, "Oh, why would you want Mitchell Robinson off the bench?" Let's look at why we want this. Magic. The Magic have a guy in Jonathan Isaac. He's nasty as a defender. We are gonna need defense when Brunson's off the court and Packham's off the court. So what we're gonna do is, for me, I'm gonna bring in Mitch, and I'm not even gonna bring in Josh Hart. I'm gonna bring in Mitch, and I'm gonna bring in McBride. This is where I said I want him to be running 35% of the plays with Kolek. So now you got McBride, Bridges, OG, Cat, and Mr. Robinson. Now look at that. We got the defense, and we still got our second best scorer who's going to be eaten because of the screens. And a thing that most people don't realize about Cat gets picked on a lot by power forwards. But now with Mitch on the court, you can't do that.
Hey, so here's the thing with that. Of course, a center is going to get picked on by a power forward. Of course, a center is going to get picked on by a guard and a wing player, right? If Shaq played in this era, there's no way Shaquille O'Neal would be able to guard John Morant or Donovan Mitchell, right? That's one of those things that we as Knicks fans, we place on people. We're like, oh my God, Cat can't guard Emmanuel Quickly in the open floor. We know this is science. We know that already. Right? Oh my God, Cat can't guard Tyler Hero. We know that. What NBA center can guard these little guys? If they could, you legit be playing five centers. You put five centers on the floor, right? So yeah, so I got you there, and I understand your point. Mitchell Robinson aside, Mitchell Robinson is what they call an alien. Like, he's not the normal 7-footer, right? And guys don't defend. Centers in the NBA now don't defend like Mitchell Robinson. He's different.
Yep. And then now, when you look at it on offense, Cat's going to be playing against power forwards, and we know he can eat because we've seen him at the top of the three. Grab that ball, take his 2 steps, get into the rack. That's what we want when Brunson's off, because what will happen is he's an 87% free throw shooter. He gets the fouls, slow down the game, and it helps our defense as well. But the main reason why I want Mitch off the bench is because I want him to control the defense with McBride. I want to keep that defensive energy. And then we could even switch him out, bring Brunson back. I just don't want Mitchell out there first thing, because I want him to see what his job is going to be throughout the game. A lot of people don't agree with that. We should start Mitch, let him get the energy. But y'all got to remember, we got to worry about the fourth quarter. Yeah, we know Brunson's going to show up, but what about our defense? So I want to have some type of stagnant defense with the front five, and then have 2 guys coming off the bench that can maintain it, because that's what we're doing. Now, when you look at Kolek, I just think Kolek's goal is just to come in like he did last year. Just control the ball, don't turn it over, make sure he gets the right passes, and he's good to go. Josh Hart, he's great. Let him run his thing. Let him get the rebounds. Let him also help out with dribbling the ball where Bridges is on the court. Or you could take out Bridges and have Josh Hart do it, because he did it last year as a starter. Wasn't good because he did it a lot, but we know he can do it well if it's not as much. Then you look at Yabusele, Clarkson. I ain't even talk about them yet. I'm just sticking to those 2 guys. Now, when you bring in Clarkson, you could take out McBride, Bridges, and put in Clarkson. Now you got a scorer, ball handler. He can also help out with Cat. He can even help Mitch with the lobs. And then you got Yabusele, who could come in for Cat. He could do some work. You got my boy Ariel, who can also set screens. He could also help out, and he could feed off of Clarkson. I know
that ain't your boy. Don't do that. Don't like Huck 40.
I
You don't
love
like Huck 40.
you know I still can't say his last name. Huckaporty. But with that being said, the reason why I want Clarkson so to be that secondary guy, like it looks like I'm putting him down on the 13 when he should be leading the backup, but no, he'll be more consistent in that role because he'll be playing against weaker players, and with his experience and how he loves to play here, he's going to create a lot of offense for us. So like with him, I won't really put McBride out there. I probably have Kolick because if Kolick gets into his way, we can then go through Clarkson and then get Kolick in the half court. You could even help out Ariel with the screens. You could even have Yamaselli down there too. You could have Josh. Like it looks like our 10. And like I said, I really think that this bench, like I said last year, we did it one game, can average 50 and 35 coming from Yamaselli and Clarkson and McBride. All three of them are going to average together 35 points off the bench. You can get another 15 points from Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson, and maybe Tyler. Maybe he could give you 2, maybe 4 points, but it's not that much. It's only 15 points you're asking from them.
So you think 5 guys off the bench averaging 10 points apiece?
Basically.
Okay.
Because McBride can shoot the 3. We've seen him get you 6 to 8 points. He's going to be more consistent, and I think he's going to be more active defensively because we're going to be putting him on pressure on his defense. We're going to expose him with his defense. And if he's bad, Clarkson will be there to help out. And not Clarkson is a good defender or better than McBride, but he'll be enough to help out where if McBride gets beat, he could pick up, and with his height, he can help out. Remember, I'm talking about team helping out. You help me, I help you. Oh, you got beat. Oh, man, I got the ball. I see you because you already got beat. You downhill. Score that, baby. Come on, let's get back. You see what I'm saying? Talking, communication. That's why I said. And Clarkson, being that way as a veteran, he could read it and it'll feed off of everyone. Especially Clarkson played with a lot of good players. And I don't care what y'all say. I love what he did in Utah. And y'all know how I like dang, I can't believe I forgot his name.
Hey, may I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
And so this is for you and for the chat. I'm just gonna put a rock in y'all's shoe, right? Just for the sake of conversation. For the sake of conversation. How much of Jalen Brunson's success is Jalen Brunson's natural God-given talent and drive, or the Knicks supporting this player to the nth degree, right? Is Jalen Brunson, Chad Pennington, Brian Sipe, Bernie Kosar, Trent Green, or is he Dan Marino, John Elway type of guy? I just want to start right there. How much of it is the Knicks built around Jalen Brunson and pushed him up so that he can succeed? And how much is it Jalen Brunson is so talented, he's dragging the Knicks out of the alleyway and up to the penthouse?
I think it's a combination of both.
And the only answer I won't accept is it's a combination of both.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. In the times when we didn't have what we have now, Brunson has been who he's been. Brunson has always performed. Brunson has always been that way. And now that he has the talent around him, he's gonna do, like you said, take us out of that dark horse, be like that John Elway. Because that's who he was. Because remember, John Elway, when he first started, he was great, but he wasn't doing too well. Peyton Manning, great on the Colts, but wasn't winning because of defense. But Peyton Manning was still doing good. You see, he's not like a Tom Brady or anything like that. Just a guy that's going to come in and control the clock and give you wins.
So is he Drew Brees, Tom Brady, or is he Peyton Manning, John Elway, Dan Marino type, Warren Moon?
Dan Marino type, because the way he's always been this way, and it just took time for us to actually catch up. He's been dominant. He's been who he's been. The last 3 years, every year he's escalated his game to be better and more efficient. And his mentality, Earl Campbell, damn, oof. His mentality.
To Sherwin, I was going to ask Sherwin what Earl Campbell means. I don't know what the Earl Campbell reference means. I know who Earl Campbell is. I know who Jalen Brunson is. I watched those Houston Oilers, right? And I watched the New Orleans Saints where Earl Campbell was 300 pounds. What I'm saying is like, what is Jalen Brunson? Is Jalen Brunson super talented and driven, or is did the Knicks supply this guy, an average guy with all these superlative weapons for him to succeed?
Okay, the best way I could put it is this way, and I hate using this reference because I like Barry Sanders. Brunson is Barry Sanders, and then you got Emmitt Smith. He is Barry Sanders because he himself can do enough to make this team great, regardless of the talent around him. That's the best way I could put it. He's going to shine. He's going to do the best, and he's always going to excel. It's the best way I could put it. Yep. Like he just said, he put the team on his back and carried them.
That's interesting. That means, so if Jalen Brunson put the team on his back and carried them, that means his roster is still not good enough to win a championship. Or this roster is a first-round lottery roster, but since Jalen Brunson is here, it's a championship roster. Is that what I'm hearing?
I like how you put that. I got to think about that for a sec. I think this is a championship roster. We just need the time. Like, everything works with time in the league. No matter how good you are as a player, you need the timing, and a lot of things has to go for you. I think this year the Knicks will be similar to what the Timberwolves were last year. Like how they were dominant, how everything was working, how everything was clicking, how they were the number 2 seed. They were just that guys, and they could stop OKC. I think that this Knicks team is like that, but I need to see the experience. That's the only thing that's holding me back from saying this team is a championship team. New coach, new schemes, you need time to develop. But once that's there, championship team all the way.
How much better is Jalen Brunson than an average all-star level point guard?
Top 3. He's top 3. And there's only, to be honest with you, my eyes, there's only 2 guards better than him. Luka, Shea. That's it. He's a top 3. He's going to be one of them ones that's going to be in the MVP voting this year. And he's going to be one of the ones that everyone's going to be like, remember when you said he was too small? Watch. He's going to, the same, to me, I think he's the same, I hate to use this phrase, energy that Melo had when we didn't have anything and everyone believed in him and he was still doing this thing. That's Brunson. He's going to be a top 3 guard in the league. I only think that those 2 guys are the only ones that's going to be better than him because of how they play. They get the ball more. The systems are more built around those style of players to where here everyone can eat and Brunson can still shine.
I don't understand your point.
Okay. So for me, I think Brunson will be a top 3 point guard in the league.
Well, I mean, but how do you get to top 3 is the part I understand. I understand all the other stuff.
Okay. All right. So for him to be
is it just MVP voting or is it fan sentiment?
No, it's everything that he's able to do on the court. I didn't see because in the season it was moving so fast. But when I took a step back and saw how he is, like I said, in the half court, how he is in creating his own shot, how he's able to be so effective at that point, they are similar numbers that these 2 guys are.
Would you trade 2 all-star point guards for Jalen Brunson?
No.
Okay.
Because
that's what I'm trying to get. I'm trying to figure out because I would absolutely trade 2 all-star point guards for SGA. I would legitimately trade. Who made the all-star team this year? I would trade Trae Young and Donovan Mitchell for SGA.
That's the first I'm hearing about that.
Chat, would you trade 2 All-Stars for Jalen Brunson? I'm trying to gauge where we are because I want to talk about his legacy and the moment at the same time. But before I talk about Jalen Brunson's legacy and talk about this season itself, I need to know how Knicks fans feel about Jalen Brunson's worth. Like, how much of what we're seeing is Jalen Brunson driven, or how much of this is Leon Rose driven? And not at the same time, because Leon Rose doesn't play basketball, right? And Jalen Brunson doesn't work in the front office. So I'm trying to figure out, is this a Michael Vick situation or is this a Tom Brady situation? Can you help me with that?
I got you. I think it's if I say Michael Vick, then we're not winning a championship.
See, because Michael Vick was a quarterback that put the whole offense on his back.
Yeah. I see now I see what you're saying. Damn. This year, I think he's proven enough. He would be Tom Brady this year. Now that I think about it, because he's proven over the last 3 years his worth. Same thing with Brady. Brady went straight in and played his playoff game and won a Super Bowl. Brady's work ethic was nasty. Same thing like Brunson. Brady never stopped training. Neither did Brunson. So that mentality, I see him being more that than a Michael Vick. Like a Trae Young is Michael Vick. He's in that scenario. But for me, Brunson would be Tom Brady because it's not just how they play, it's the mentality. You always saw Brady doing different things, telling people, working out with people differently and pulling the best out of them. Wes Welker. Who the hell? Nobody know what Wes Welker was. But now if you see how Josh Hart, who the hell is Josh Hart? But Josh Hart's his best passer.
Right.
Josh Hart gets this man going. You see what I'm saying? So I think he's more of a Brady because he gets the best out of all his players and still being good.
Right. Okay. So you think Jalen Brunson could be the best player in the NBA?
Yeah. Top.
Okay.
Like I said, he'll be in the top 5 for MVP voting in my eyes.
Okay. So if Jalen Brunson could be the best player in the NBA, he's an MVP level player, and you think Jalen Brunson can will this team to an NBA title?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Chat, y'all feel the same way? And I use Michael Vick as an example, not saying that he plays like Michael Vick. Like Brunson's not nearly the athlete Michael Vick is. Nearly. Now they might be the same size, about 6'2", about 205. They're probably about the same, but he's not. Both left-handed, right? But they're not nearly the same type of athlete, right? But what I would say is, if our feeling, and I'm just going by a consensus, everyone. I'm just going by a consensus, right? This is just hey, Randall, what's good? Hey, Ray Bentley, what's good? What I would say, if we feel this way about Jalen Brunson, I think all the talk that we say about Mike Brown, the bench, the 15th guy, none of that stuff matters because we have confidence that Jalen Brunson is going to will this team to the NBA title and put this team on his back. Now, if you feel like I overspoke, right? If you feel like I overspoke about Jalen Brunson's ability to get this team to an NBA championship, then you don't feel like Jalen Brunson can do it, put the team on his back all along, and you feel like Jalen Brunson needs a lot of help, which is fine because Michael Jordan needed a lot of help. Patrick Ewing needed a lot of help. Larry Bird needed, Magic Johnson, Dr. J, all needed a lot of help, right? In their era, right? Kobe Bryant needed a ton of help. So if you feel like Jalen Brunson is that guy that can put the team on his back, D. Favors, what's good, bro? If you feel like JB is that guy that can put the team on his back and come through in those clutch moments, then I respect that in a Paul Pierce type of way. If you remember Paul Pierce in his prime with the Celtics,
yes,
right? Paul Pierce came through in a lot of clutch moments. They won a lot of games because of Paul Pierce, right? But if you feel like Jalen Brunson is maybe 2 notches below that,
right? Then you probably believe that the Knicks need to get more help, like what Cowboy Bob was saying at the beginning of this video. After hearing that, what do you think?
I like how you put that, but
Yeah, it's a question. Don't.
I think he's on the same level as Paul Pierce. As far as how he took the team, because like you said,
I
Paul
noticed
Pierce.
how you be dodging that question. You be like, I'm gonna take the
Because
neutral.
I like Paul, man.
You like the yellow light. Some people like the red light. Some people like the green light. Cowboy
But
Bob on the yellow light.
I'm gonna pick Brunson because he's bringing something that I haven't seen in a while. And what do I mean? A guard that is this dominant and this good. I haven't seen this type of attitude with a chip on your shoulder. Real quick, he was bred for New York. When Tibbs taught him everything, he's like made for this moment. So he's like our little baby in the incubator that grew up and just grew. And I'm just like, yo, he's that dude. I'm not saying he's on the Kobe level, and I'm not saying he's better than Pierce, but I think that what he can do will end up as far as his legacy better than Pierce because he's going to be able to do
Are
it.
you saying JB is better than Kobe?
No. Same mentality, different beast.
Around the same age. Around the same age, right? Is Jalen Brunson at Kobe Bryant at this age? Is he better than? Because I could do the comp on Basketball Reference and put it on the screen for you if you want me to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me say that because Kobe's first 3 years, he didn't really get that much shine, and he was competing with Eddie Jones.
All right, what's good, bro?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, y'all? How's everyone doing tonight?
Good. Cowboy Bob has a point on the floor that he was talking about.
Yeah, I just think that his mentality is the same as Kobe's, but matter of fact, he did play behind Luka, so I could say the same about Brunson. You know what? Same animal, but different beast. Just that Kobe to me was just the first, and I'm like, nobody could touch it. Because I've actually seen Kobe from start to finish. Jordan, I came in midway. You know, everybody else, Hakeem, I already came in midway in the 80s. But if I'm looking, he's the next version of Kobe as far as work ethic and how he came up. Yeah, I say he's on that same level, but he just has to prove it. That's the only thing. And I think he can.
Yeah,
He got the Kobe shoes anyway. You didn't see the commercial? He's in New York in the Diamond District, and they showing his all white Kobe's. I think he's the next. He's not gonna be like Kobe because Kobe was the first as far as that. Even though Kobe got help from Jordan and everybody else because he was calling Jordan 24/7, learning moves, Grant Hills, everything. But I think he'll have that same effect and impact. So yeah, I think he's up there. Him and Kobe are equal.
I definitely agree with you on that one because if you look at the similarities, right? JB always wants the ball in a clutch time. You give JB the ball, he's going to do something special. Whether he fails, whether he succeeds, don't matter. You give that man a ball. I'm not trusting nobody else but JB on the line. JB's shown it throughout the playoffs. He's shown it throughout the regular season. That man will kill you on the court. And I've watched both players, right? I wasn't around the Jordan time, but I've always heard stories about Jordan through my mom and dad because they lived through that era. And then I saw Kobe. I look at the two, they're very similar to each other, but I love Kobe more than I love JB. But they're very similar to each other, and I do think they're on the same level. But I believe that JB has to do more to succeed where Kobe left off. Nobody's going to be able to do what Kobe did. Period. Hands down. That's the way I view it.
Okay. All right.
Just because we saying they got similarities and mentalities and all of that, we're not saying he's better than Kobe.
Exactly.
We're just saying we haven't seen this type of determination since then. And as a matter of fact, I remember hearing it about Jordan. When Grant Hill came in, T-Max and all of them, the only one that stood out from all those guys was Kobe. So when we first saw Jordan, we was like, oh, nobody's going to be like Jordan. But then when Kobe went back-to-back without Shaq, everyone's like, oh, maybe we overlooked Kobe.
So your real hoop heads are in the chat. They let you know
that Jalen Brunson is good, but he may not be that level that Knicks fans think he is.
But based off the question you just said, in the time period, how they were the first few years, both of them playing backup, not really starting, how they came up and how they grown, yeah, they on the same path. They just riding different cars. What's wrong with that? And plus, he's a New York Knick. I'm not saying he's better than Kobe. I never said that. But if they're going down the same path, let's enjoy the ride. Because for all we know, if we win a championship, I guarantee you all those Knicks fans will be like, oh.
Well, the dialogue is not centered around ex-Lakers. We don't care.
Yeah.
This is a Knicks channel, right?
Yeah.
What we care about is how good is Jalen Brunson? Can he get better? Can he improve? Right? Right?
I want to know why you guys don't see the mentality of Brunson when it comes to playing basketball. None of y'all all, I'm hearing this, he's nothing like Kobe, Ray. But do we not remember how hard Kobe worked in the gym?
The chat. I love the chat. Salute to the chat.
Do we not remember how many nights he was playing basketball? What do you think?
The chat is, yo, Cowboy Bob, the chat is on my Mount Rushmore. The whole chat is one of the GOATs. The whole chat is one of the GOATs, bro. The entire chat deserved to be on Mount Rushmore, bro.
Yo, the entire chat deserves to be on Mount Rushmore for real.
Yo, that's crazy, bro. But so I guess the thing that I'm getting at is I've been watching shows, I've been listening to a lot of Knicks fans, a lot of experts talk about the greatness of Jalen Brunson, right? I've been hearing a lot of people say the championship is the Knicks championship to lose, right? Because of outside factors. As long as the Knicks stay injury-free, this should be the Knicks' year to win the championship, right? The question I have is if Jalen Brunson is the guy, do the Knicks need to go out and get more help for Jalen Brunson, or is it specific help, right? If Jalen Brunson's the guy, he stays healthy. A lot of Knicks fans, about 70% of Knicks fans I talk to say, if Jalen Brunson is healthy, this team is a championship level team, regardless of the health of anyone else on the roster. Right? Now, of course, if the whole roster is hurt, we're not going to get the desired result. But if the roster is mostly healthy and Jalen Brunson is completely healthy, Knicks fans feel like this is the Knicks' year to win the championship. And I'm asking, from a basketball purist perspective, how do we know that?
You go ahead. I'll wait.
Yeah, how do we know this is the Knicks' year to win the championship if Jalen Brunson stays healthy?
This is the Knicks' year to win the championship because there's no Tatum, there's no Halliburton. Damian's back in Portland for the foreseeable future. Shout out to Damian Lillard for making that move. Straight up. I have much respect for him on that. It feels like the East is weak, and I've talked about this with plenty of Knicks fans before. The East is weak, but it's not too weak. You know, the Boston Celtics are still going to be around. Play-in team possible, right? It's still the regular season. The Pacers are still going to be the Pacers. I still got them going in the playoffs, even without Halliburton, right? Because they're going to change their style. They're going to be a defensive team now, right? Everyone that thinks that the East is a cakewalk, and this is myself talking as a Knicks fan, it's not a cakewalk. No season is ever a cakewalk, especially when you got a new system with Mike Brown that you have to learn in 2 months before the second half of the schedule kicks in. The Knicks have got to remain to have that killer instinct that we didn't see at all last season. We have to see this Knicks team continue to grow, especially under a new system with Mike Brown. So I think the question that we should all be asking, and Will King point out in the chat, is can Mike Brown and Jalen Brunson coexist? Is Mike Brown's system going to be efficient enough for Jalen Brunson?
Yes. And I'm going to say...
I think that's a terrible question.
I'm gonna say before we get to that, I just want to answer real quick, Uncle, your question.
Okay.
So The one thing I hate is that everyone says this week. I hope you didn't freeze on. All right, but I'm gonna keep going. What I don't
Yeah.
like is that everyone says the East is weak. Because here's the thing: what brought the best out of Brunson is that pressure, that fire, that desire to be better. But the Knicks haven't won a championship in over 50
53
plus years.
years.
So that's the pressure now. So yeah, the league is still wide open, but we all can see what can happen. If we look at what happened with Atlanta, Atlanta went to the Eastern Conference Finals with just Trey Young. So with this, Brunson, I think is better than him. Yes, this team can make it with what they have. And with Mike Brown, everyone says, "Oh, him and Mike Brown ain't good." The IQ of what Tibbs was doing with all these players, making them work, making them watch film, expanded their game. That's why they won back-to-back 50 games. So when they're sitting down and Mike Brown is telling Brunson what to do, Brunson isn't just listening, nodding. He's asking questions. He wants to see it. He wants to adhere to it. He wants to make different changes. You got a player in Brunson who's going to go ahead and not only be good because I think he's better than De'Aaron Fox, he's going to exploit that because he's missed a clutch before Brown got here.
Right.
Brown didn't have him for 2-3 years. So what I'm trying to say is this year, I think it's still the same pressure, even though everyone's saying the East is wide open. No, it's not. It just rotated. Yeah, the Pacers ain't there, but you still got to worry about the Magic. With they got Bane. And if Tristan DeSilva learns anything from Bane is how to be a better quick release because he had a good year. Jonathan Isaac, their defense, you put like the defense they have is still there. And they added a scorer. So
Right.
the Magic, you got Detroit coming back off of Stewart's gonna be back. I know we won it, but how is Stewart gonna play? There's a lot of comps still there, and I'm tired of people saying the East is weak. The East,
I'm tired of it too. Like,
the
I'm gonna keep it real. I'm tired of it.
I
Yo,
think,
can y'all hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, hey, great. I'm sorry about the way that the question came because I got cut off.
No,
But
you're good.
Without saying the question, not because it's Ari and that question itself, it served to me. It gives me a sense of non-belief. Like, do we believe in Brunson or not?
I do.
so
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Because it puts me in that weird space of like, I think y'all really believe in Jalen Brunson, and I do too. But I don't want to supply a crutch for a built-in excuse for Mike Brown. Because if we don't win a chip, it'll be easy to say, well, we got a new coach. Mike Brown came in and he messed up the blah, blah. Right? And I would say, man, I think the coaching at this point, we've seen new coaches go to different organizations and compete for championships in their first year. And so I don't know if I'm cool with hold on for just a second.
but I think Brown is that's a lie. So,
There we are. There we are.
Okay,
All right.
sweet. But yeah, no, we were just talking while you were gone. We were talking about, the quote unquote idea of the East being weak. And I've said that even though the East is wide open, you still got a lot of competition and it's rotating. We were just talking about that. It's now Knicks, Orlando, and Detroit. And remember, the Knicks are going to have a target on their back this season.
That's a great point too, by the way. And that's unfamiliar territory too.
Right. Knicks are going to have a target on their back. Big target. They're going to be the ones to beat. Even the teams that are, quote unquote tanking, they're going to want to come after the Knicks.
Ooh, that's a good point. I never heard anybody say that before. That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's
I agree.
interesting.
Because everybody sees us young up and comers, they're gonna try to knock us down and say, "Oh, the Knicks are always what they are," especially Trey Young. I hate him, but you gotta.
That guy's got ice in his veins.
That dude is meant to destroy. I'm telling you, I can't stand that dude, but he does his business. And a man like him, what is that? Also, look at Bane. Like I said, Bane now coming from Memphis to the Magic. He's now going to be the oldsman. He's going to be having Franz. He's going to be mentoring Franz. He's going to be mentoring Paolo. He's going to be like,
that's huge for the Magic.
Yeah, and I think everybody wants to prove their point. It's like we're like, you know what we are? I feel like the Knicks are like the ones that got into honor courses last year and now graduated, and all the young freshmen are coming to try to take our sophomore spot. That's how it is.
And that's how it's going to be. This season's going to be a dogfight. I mean, a dogfight 100%. If Atlanta's even healthy.
You think it's going to be like that every night?
Not every night.
I'm saying in general. I mean, of course, not every night, but I mean.
In general, it's going to be a dogfight.
Okay.
It's going to be a dogfight. Because
us.
I'll let Bob go first. I'm going to say it's going to be a dogfight. Not every day, but it is going to be a dogfight.
I think it is because we still got the Wolves. That's like, if you look at the whole league, the fact that we were successful, even when we were in the playoffs, everybody was saying we were going to lose the first round. We were going to lose the second round. It wasn't until we got to the Eastern Conference Finals to where everybody started believing. And even when we lost, people were still like, after we lost, they're like, we knew they were going to beat Pacers because of the pace and everything. But when we beat Boston, when we beat Detroit, I'm telling you, people were saying we were too weak. But the fact that we proved it to them, we got that chip on our shoulder.
If that's the sentiment, Cowboy Bob, then how do we say that Jalen Brunson puts the Knicks on his back and leads us to a championship?
Because he's just going to pick off what he did last year. Like I said before, and I said it again, his efficiency is going to be higher, but he's not going to be looking to score as much because he's going to feel more comfortable in his offense. And I hate to say this, but I'm going to. The player we saw in Villanova that won championships, I think that dog is going to come out where it was unexpected, and people are like, yo, we didn't think Villanova could win. Like,
hey, Cowboy Bob, that was 8 years ago.
I know. I'm still on that, though. I'm still sipping.
Yeah, that was 8 years ago, man.
That was 8 years ago. Time flew by. I was, at least 15 years old when I saw that Villanova chip when they won it.
Right.
Yo, I'm old. I'm old, man.
Well, I mean, I don't know the old part, man. I ain't gonna be disrespectful, but in terms of the part where that was a long time ago, I could see where that may not be a factor, right? Yeah. And so here's the thing with it, right? This is where I am, right? If Brunson needs help, what help is it that he needs?
Oh, that's I can't.
Is it player? Is it personnel? Is it scheme? Is it the way that they're coached off the floor? Is it the way that they're strategic on the floor? Right? Is it chemistry evolving with, say, unknown player X that we don't know about? Could it be the second year with Mikal Bridges? They do better because they had the first year and they got to the Eastern Conference Finals. And then that second year, they'll both be better playing together. Could it be the third year of OG Anunoby being here? Right? Could it be Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges having chemistry in their second year playing together in New York? And I think these are questions that we have to ask as opposed to, is Mike Brown the answer? And Ari, that's the reason why I was saying that. Not because it was your question, but we say a lot of things and then we put it on this thing of, well, Mike Brown has all the answers. I don't know, bro. I think Karl-Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges only played one season together. Could that be an issue? Could their chemistry get better? Could OG and Cat and all these guys? Because remember, under Tom Thibodeau, one of the reasons why we seem to stumble at times is because every offseason with Tibbs, we turned the roster over. Right? Y'all remember the backcourt of Alec Burks and Evan Fournier starting 58 games together?
I remember that. I do.
Right? You know what I mean? And you got Emmanuel Quickly and Deuce and Grimes and all those guys on the bench. Right? Y'all remember the Knicks basically bringing in Dante DiVincenzo and I forget who the other guy was. Bringing in Dante, right? You remember when we brought in Isaiah Hartenstein for those 2 years?
I remember.
And then we had to learn how to play a different style with Hartenstein. Right? You remember the Cam Reddish year where we brought in Cam Reddish?
Remember, we cut Alfred Payton and then had to beg him to come back.
I remember that.
And then when he came back, we couldn't trade him because you can't cut a player and then sign him and trade him. So it's a de facto no trade clause.
So the way I view it is this. I think it was a chemistry issue. Well, I 100% think it was a chemistry issue. And I say that because if you look at the Boston game last year, right, when Mitch was in the starting lineup, that game was actually close. I'm talking about the last game before Boston swept the Knicks.
Right.
In the regular season. That game was actually close. When Cat passed the ball to Mikal Bridges, Mikal was not expecting that pass. That was a chemistry issue.
Yeah.
So I'm on the assumption of this team just needs one more year all together,
right?
Chemistry, and I will also add scheme.
So are you saying that for this conversation, are you officially on the record saying this?
I'm officially on the record saying this.
Oh, okay.
I'm officially on the record.
That's bold, bro. That's bold for the summertime, bro.
Listen, I'm a man with bold takes. People like it.
I see that now. I see that now. Right.
I am on the record officially stating from last year's season up until now, the Knicks needed a new scheme with the players that they got surrounding JB, Cat, OG, and Mikal. I don't know who's going to be in the starting lineup this year. I'm going to keep it real. But I will say, with the coaching personnel that they got, with Brian O'Connor, with Chris Jen, all the assistant coaching that they got this year, and with the help that they got, Mike Brown included, and chemistry-wise, I think we're going to see a better Knicks team compared to how they were last year. I'm officially going on the record. I've been stating that since summer off-season started.
Okay. Let me add a fly to the ointment then, just for the sake of understanding the conversation and I guess putting parameters on it, so to speak.
Of course.
So even though Bridges, OG, and Cat have only played one season together, when the season starts, they have one season under their belt together, right?
Yes.
But it was under a different coach and a different offensive and defensive philosophy. Do you reset the clock for their chemistry with Mike Brown? Like, do you give them another year together, a year two that counts as year one, like a redshirt year, because they have to get accustomed to Mike Brown and his offensive and defensive philosophies?
Can you repeat that again so I understand?
Do you count last year under Tibbs, or do you not?
No, I do not count last year under Tibbs.
Okay.
Different system, different scheme at the time.
Okay.
What about you, Bob? Do you count that? Or?
I do, because that 1 year experience, it was a eye opener. Tibbs, most people I know Tibbs is different than Brown, but what both coaches do have in common is they exploit the best out of their players. Tibbs is more of a mental, and as far as scheme, Mike Brown, the one thing that a lot of people was upset about with Tibbs is not starting the younger players. Mike Brown will use the whole team, so everyone's gonna gain. So I think it's just the scheme, like how he schemes. Like I just said earlier in the show, if you give Brunson more of a half-court offense, it's gonna work. I really think that it's just the scheme. We just gotta see what kind of plans is he gonna play. Because if I could come up with this little stuff with my limited knowledge as opposed to these coaches, I really think that they're gonna explode, because you don't lose the knowledge you gained last year from Tibbs in year one, because it's really not year one, because Cat played with Tibbs before, Brunson played with him the previous season. So a lot of these players got the mentality of how to read film, how to gain knowledge, what plays to call out, seeing things before they actually evolve, knowing what they're doing. They learned all of that last year from Tibbs. So to go from that knowledge and heavy defense and learning how to read to a coach who's now going to open it up for everybody.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying? So that year counts, because that knowledge and the fact that he did it with limited resources, because he only used 7 people as opposed to the full roster. Because there were times where we could have used some other bench players.
Could have used like 10 or 9.
Exactly. So this year, I honestly think, and I hate to say this, but I'm just gonna go and say it. This is a championship team as opposed to last year because last year they fought through so much that with Tibbs being limited, now everyone's gonna get. It's like going to the cafeteria and eating free food to where now because you're an athlete, you don't have to go to the cafeteria. You can go anywhere in town and eat. Hey, what's up, Coach?
What's up, Cowboy Bob? Uncle Freeze.
Salute.
Who else
Ari.
we got with us? Oh, Ari, what's up, bud?
Yeah.
I definitely see where you're coming from on that because I didn't really think of it like that before, with the reset. I thought of it as like, okay, we fired a new coach. We're going to learn a new scheme, a new system. I didn't think that would carry over with Tibbs. But now that you say that, you know what I mean? Now you got a point. And that's where I'm leaning towards I agree with you. I do, honestly, especially with what the players are learning, how to break down film, how to call out plays, what schemes they're going to want. I will tell you, though, I do remember under Tom Thibodeau, we did run a lot of drop coverage. I don't think we're going to do drop coverage this year with Mike Brown. Not at all. So I'm really interested to see how they go with the defensive scheme. That's the one thing I'm going to look out for this season.
I'll say this too. The thing is interesting. The reason why I want to start or not start because Cowboy Bob started the conversation, but the reason why I want to speak to these certain things in a conversation is because, quite frankly, I think Knicks fans are double talking. We're saying a lot of this, and then when somebody holds them to the fire, we're like saying a lot of that, right? Like legit. Man, this is our year, such and such and such. And then when I ask, like, can Jalen Brunson take the Knicks to the championship? Can he do such and such, or do we need help? People are saying, nah, Jalen Brunson need help. Right? So to me, it's like, do you believe or do you not believe?
I believe.
Right. And I know your point, your stance on it. I'm just saying in general. Right? Because you explained your point, man, and I appreciate that.
No problem.
Right. What I'm saying is I guess people are saying stuff like, man, the East is weak, bro. All these injuries, these young teams got to learn how to win. They're not going to be ready to win in all these type of scenarios. And then when we say, hey, is Jalen Brunson as good as SGA? And people are like, nah, Jalen Brunson is probably the 7th best point guard in the NBA. Right? And the reason why I say SGA and Halliburton because those two teams were led by point guards to the NBA Finals. So is Jalen Brunson better than Tyrese Halliburton? Of course, we want to say no. I mean, of course, we want to say yes, he's better than SGA and Halliburton. At the same time, the results say something different. Is that all coach related? Is that all roster related? Right? Is that all player performance driven and related? We don't know for sure, right? We don't know for sure because the Knicks haven't been to the Eastern Conference Finals since
25
me and Coach were 285. Or since I was 285. Coach might be 285 right now. I ain't been 285 in a long time. And listen, I'm the only one that can joke with Coach like that because that's my brother. Like legit, that's my brother. That's it.
I ain't been 285 in a minute.
Coach, what's good?
Not much, man. Just
Cowboy Bob was ripping all your theories to shreds up here by himself. He was cooking earlier.
I'm sure.
Cowboy Bob was like, nah, man, Bridges needs to do such and such. Like our theory on Bridges needs to knock down open 3-pointers. You're a pro. You need to knock these shots down if you open. That ain't what Cowboy Bob said.
Any weirdo that doesn't think the Knicks at this moment are the team to beat are just aluminum foil hat wearing scaredy cat. Like, number one, all these pundits and scared ass fans out there that always want to crown the next group of teams. The last I checked, Cleveland ain't done crap. Detroit ain't done crap. Orlando ain't done crap. And Atlanta ain't done crap.
Yeah.
Hasn't nothing about being a homer, nothing about being because I'm a Knicks fan. The last time I checked, the team that we had last year with a coach making suspect rotations and decisions got everyone back that matters. Plus, we added more pieces to a team that was already questionably should have represented the East, even when Tatum was healthy. We beat the brakes off that.
We were up 2-1 with a huge lead in Game 4 when he tore his Achilles. Yep.
Cleveland, sure. Last I checked, ask Sacramento.
When's the last time Cleveland beat the Knicks in the playoffs?
Exactly.
2020. No, not even.
Ask teams like Sacramento or Utah or all these teams that have been the best record in their conference, if that means you're going to go to the finals. Cleveland, that didn't mean nothing last year.
Yeah.
I ain't scared of Cleveland. Now, are they going to be our biggest competition? Yeah, I think so for sure. However, everyone's crowning Detroit. What? Because they got Jaden Ivey back and Beef Stew might be around. They lost Dennis Schroeder, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Malik Beasley. All three huge pieces.
Dennis Schroeder kept them in that series.
For that team last year.
Schroeder kept them in that series. Without Dennis Schroeder, bro.
Whether you want to say it was because of Detroit's tough D or not, that was our worst offensive
playoffs.
The worst offensive output that we've had all season, and we still found a way to win. Okay, so whatever. I ain't worried. You heard it here first. Okay, book it, clip it. Detroit ain't gonna be in the top 4 or 5 seeds. Everyone's trying to crown them all of a sudden.
I got them as a 6th seed.
Coach, angry, Coach. What you angry at, man?
Right. Orlando, they got one shooter on their damn team, and they just traded for him. Boncaro and Franz Wagner, hell of a players. They're both great young players. I'd love to have them on my team. They got 2 nice, tall, long point guards in Suggs and Black. You know, but they can't shoot a lick, and they're still too young. Not worried about them. Atlanta, what in the hell do you think they are? Just because they brought in Tingus Pingus and a couple of friggin' they're good, tall, lengthy rookies and young players last year got a little older? Really? Come on, man. What are we doing?
What the hell is a Tingus Pingus?
Like, what are we doing?
That was a classic throwback. If I remember feeling that.
We're so quick to like let people leapfrog us when we got better. And I think we're gonna have a coach that just isn't gonna be in the way. Like, even if he doesn't make us 10 times better, as long as he doesn't.
Can you not make us worse?
Right, governor. Like, put a governor on us.
Yeah.
Like a company truck. We can only go up to 55 miles an hour.
Yeah.
You know?
School bus.
So, like, and, you know, only the guys that have been working for the company for the last 4 years and go out on a job. These new hires got to stay in the factory and stock. You know, we can't put them out. We're going to keep them in the back. They're going to be a stock boy for 2 or 3 years, you know, before we let them go out there and do something. I mean, come on, man.
I worked for a company like that. They were like, hey, we can't give you a laptop because you're not in your first 24 months yet. Like, bro, a laptop is $400.
But I got a master's degree.
Right, you know? Bro. Yeah, like, bro, like, yeah, like, bro.
Look, also, man, and just one last thing. And the thing is, hate to always bring up our age and blah, 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 whatever. But most of the guys on this panel, especially Freezy and I, were around during the time where all we cared about was defense. Well, you know how many championships we won when we were the best defense in the league? 0.
And there's your point. Yankees fans always talking about pitching, right? Why
you throwing sliders?
Have you won since? How many championships has the Yankees won in the last 15 years?
Why you got to throw sliders, pork balls, man? You can't.
Denver.
I'm just saying, bro.
The year the Denver Nuggets won, which was only 2 or 3 years ago.
Wasn't even that long, too. That's the best part.
Name a lockdown defender on that team. Just one.
Hey, Coach, can I talk to you about some basketball stuff on the court?
What about Brown?
I'll say this. I think what we're going to see Mike Brown do is implement some of what Jokic does in the split action. I honestly believe, in my heart, Karl Anthony Towns will average somewhere between 5 and 6 assists per game, right? And the reason why is not because of the traditional ball handler saucing somebody up, squat dribble, no look pass, dime, 2 for a lob to an athlete. No, I don't think it'll be that. I think it'll be totally Karl Anthony Towns doing some of the stuff that Jokic does and transition and in the half court split action sets where 3 guys have to guard 2 guys. And as soon as that third guy presents itself, Karl Anthony Towns will be given the time to find the open guy for the open shot. Now, the reason why I say 6 and not 8 is because our open guys are not known for being knockdown shooters. Bridges and OG and Mitch and Josh Hart and Deuce and whoever else will play with Cat are not known as knockdown shooters outside of Jalen Brunson. But if you can imagine what Jamal Murray and Jokic look like in a half-court split action, transition, tempo, things of that sort, just imagine OG is Aaron Gordon, Bridges is KCP, and then those guys off the bench, and Jalen Brunson taking on the scoring load like Jamal Murray. Like Jamal Murray during a regular season, he probably like the 18th best point guard. Jamal Murray in the playoffs is like the 2nd or 3rd point guard every year in the playoffs. Every year.
Playoff rises.
Right, yeah. That's what he is. And so for everybody saying, thinking like, you know what? I wonder what kind of system Mike Brown is going to run. There's basically only one real system Mike Brown can run for Jalen Brunson and Cat, right? And I'm talking about crunch time, go-to offensive system sets and plays is the split action. Now, on a personal level, I despise the split action because it has your big man too far away from the rim. Your big man has to work too hard to get his 13, 14 rebounds like Jokic does. Like Jokic, for him to look like melted pudding in a Denver Nuggets uniform, that man works hard as hell. Think about boxing out, getting a rebound in traffic, bringing the ball up, and initiating the half-court set. How much work that takes, right? And he stays healthy, right? I think Cat is going to do a lot of that, and you'll see his assist totals not skyrocket, but have a stock exchange type of rise, right? I think he may top out at about 7, and you'll see that number come down as teams adjust to the offense. But get your palate wet for some backdoor dunks by OG Anunoby and Bridges off of split action sets. And the threes are going to be raining in MSG if they run split action sets.
You think they're going to go 5 out? Sorry to cut you off.
What in my mind of what a 5 out system is And what I think Knicks fans' idea of what a 5-out is may be different. What's your idea of a 5-out?
My idea of a 5-out is having all 5 shooters out on the perimeter and opening up the space for layups. Layup line Kel. That's my idea of a 5-out.
Okay. So my idea of 5-out is having 5 offensive players that can all dribble, pass, and shoot. Right? Like any one of the 5 players can initiate the offense and call a play. Similar to what you're saying, right? Similar to what you're saying, but you can attack from anywhere on the floor. You can attack from the corner, from the wing, top of the key, free throw line. You can attack from anywhere, and all it takes is for us to combine, because there is no such thing as new basketball, right? It's like music. Like music, there are only 8 keys. You just use them in a billion type of combinations together, right? And in the case where we know we are limited as 3-point shooters, or at least that's been our history the last 2 or so years, I think we will run 5-out, but just because you have 5 offensive players on the floor doesn't mean you run 5-out, because Jalen Brunson, the last few years, has shown us that he's ball dominant. And if you put a ball dominant person in a 5-out system, you have a pick and roll offense. You don't have 5-out. Right?
I see what you're
saying. In a
saying.
5-out set, you got to have everybody being unselfish and willing to pass to the other guy, regardless who that player is. Right?
I didn't realize what you meant by that, because when we all heard 5-out, right? I used to think that could work with JB, but after these last few years, watching Jalen Brunson, watching him work, getting to know how he plays, it's obvious JB can't be in a 5-out system. You would have to have someone that would pass the ball, that would get the assist numbers up, that would, score. I think that would fit perfect for, I don't know, say Tyler Kolek or Jordan Clarkson. We heard Mike Brown rave about, Jordan Clarkson's unnatural playmaking ability that he's got as well,
Right.
even though he's a shooting guard. What do you think about that, Coach?
I think that we're underrating Jalen Brunson's ability to be a traditional point guard sometimes, because since he's been in the NBA, he's been in 2 systems where the ball carrier, the guy that brings the ball up the court in the system, just slowly, methodically brings it up the court. When he was in Dallas, it was Luka, doing that, slowly bringing it up the court. There in no rush.
Yep.
And then when he came to Tibbs, when he had the reins, that's what he had to do. That's what fit that coach's style.
Right.
With Jalen Brunson's abilities, his basketball IQ, handed down to him with all that training. We've seen all the training videos that his father did with him. You saw how he played. Look up some Villanova highlights. Look up some stuff that he did in high school. He does a lot.
They did that in college, Coach, but that was like 8 years ago.
No, I understand, but he can be a traditional point guard and pass the ball when he needs to. He's not just going to methodically slow the game down. If Mike Brown wants to run a certain offense and wants to speed up the pace, he's not going to be like, nah, I got this. Right. I don't think everyone's thinking it was Jalen Brunson's idea to like.
Not everybody. Everybody.
Well, the ones that are doubting Brunson's ability to play at a higher pace and be a ball distributor. I think Jalen Brunson he's a captain for a reason, and he's been a winner at every level for a reason, because he follows through. He's an extension of his coach. And he respects his coach, and he follows through with the game plan that is set forth for him. And most of all, no one wants to win a game on that court as much as he does. No one's a bigger critic of Jalen Brunson more than he is. So he definitely knows when he needs to get other guys involved. The other guys need to be better. But when the other guys aren't, when he's trying to get them involved and they're missing shots and they're not doing things he needs them to do, or they're turning the ball over, then yeah, he's like, you know what? Bump this. I got to take this.
But Coach, no Nick this season missed more shots than Jalen Brunson, bro.
Well, I mean, he took more than everybody.
But
what he didn't have the worst percentage.
No, he didn't.
You know, yeah, he missed more because he took more.
Right.
But I look at, you know, when you were talking about Jamal Murray in the playoffs, you want to talk about a guy in the playoffs, Jalen Brunson. The last 3 seasons, there's only one human being in the world that has scored more points than Jalen Brunson in the playoffs, and his name is Nikola Jokic. Okay? There's only one person that averages more than Jalen Brunson in the last 3 years, and he averages 30 even in only 26 games. That's SGA. And Brunson averaged 29.9, so he's at the second highest points per game over the last 3 years in the playoffs. He's had the most 40-point games the last 3 years in the playoffs. Like, he's doing what he's supposed to do, what we had to have him do in those moments. You know, whether it turned into wins or not, unfortunately, it didn't take us where we needed it to take us. But if we think in today's NBA, when you have a high-scoring point guard, that 7+ assists aren't good while you're scoring 28, 29, 30 points, I don't know. I'm pretty tough on judging our players, but I got to be pretty happy if a guy that scores almost 30 can still average 7 assists, especially when he should have 10 because of 3 shots some of our guys missed that he would have got assist on.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times. But, you know, that's a lot of people. But, yeah.
I'm just going to piggyback on you real quick. I forget exactly what it is. I think it's 40-point games in the playoffs. It's only, besides Brunson, is Jordan and LeBron James, if I'm not mistaken. Something like that. And that's a rare class because those 2 guys are elite. And we got this guy, Brunson. So, for me, you already seen my scheme. I don't think we're going to run a 5 and out. I think we're going to just run it to where everybody's going to eat. Everybody's going to feed off of each other. Brunson's going to be – I think he's going to take less shots but be way more efficient because it's just going to be there. Like I was saying earlier, he's going to be getting a lot more set up threes, he don't even need to really dribble a ball to get to his spot this year. I see him just being in the spot and he move, he's right there to take the shot. I think Brunson's going to be the same beast but a different animal. And I still think that what we have in Brunson, a lot of people are scared to actually go behind because if we could go behind a guy like Melo with nothing and see what Brunson's doing these last 3 years, we need to back him up because outside of the EFC and everything else, every single time we see Brunson get like what happened in Boston. I love this. It's one of my favorite things. In Boston, when we lost, he was in the camera waving like, I ain't coming back here.
That was cold. That was cold.
He destroyed him, and he didn't even do it with no cockiness or nothing. That's one of the things that I like about this guy. He has that New York attitude, but because he has a calm demeanor, everyone just overlooks him. But y'all can love a guy like Shea in the West. I'm saying this, and I'm going to say this again. Brunson is that dude and why I said, like, Villanova is that excitement of him playing basketball. That feeling is back for him because he has so much to prove. And I think Brunson's him for us. I'm not saying he's the best in the league. I'm saying for us, this is our first him in a long time. Don't get me wrong. Melo was great, but Brunson can take us to the promised land, not only with his offense, but the way how he gets involved. What most people also forget, Brunson talks a lot. Hey, I see this, I see that, especially when Josh is on the court. And I agree with you, Coach. A lot of shots, they were missing 3-4 shots that he was passing out. Even Cat was missing 3-pointers. Cat shot 17% on 3-pointers. Like there's a lot of things that would have tightened
What you
down.
say?
Huh?
Did you just say Cat did what?
I think he shot 17% from three.
When?
What series was that?
What was it? I think it was the Detroit series. I'm not sure, but I
Okay.
think I'm trying to remember. Like I said, this is all off the top of the head.
Me too, Yuri. I gotta get out of here too.
I'll add this before I leave. I think the series you're referring to was against the Pacers, one or
Yeah.
the two. I remember but here's the thing though, and this is what got Tibbs fired. I'm sorry I have to bring it up, but it's true. What got Tibbs fired, if you look at between Julius Randle and Karl Anthony Towns, who shot the most threes? Julius Randle did. Tibbs never utilized catch 3-point shooting. I don't care if it was the injury. I don't care if it was himself getting banged up in the glass. Tibbs did not use Cat the right way. He mismanaged Cat throughout the whole second half of the season.
Yep.
And that's why Cat gets the slant that he got there in the playoffs, which I defended that man till this day on record.
And Cat also has the same amount of Coach said it. Cat has the same amount of double doubles as Jokic did last.
Oh,
night.
he shot 15% from three in the Celtics series.
That's
Celtics.
what.
That's the one it was.
Yeah. But he shot 48% from three, and the Pistons series on a low usage.
Mm-hmm.
That's what got Tibbs fired. With that, I take my lead. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
All right, bud.
Be safe, man.
Nah, but look, I mean, Cat and Brunson, we have never had two players like this. Period. When was the Knicks haven't had two All NBA guys on a roster since they last won a championship.
Since Big Bird had a job.
Since Big Bird had a job.
Yeah. Hey, man.
Like,
they doing Big Bird dirty, bro. Big Bird out here brushing up his resume.
And to have those two guys,
Big Bird gonna be on Maury,
play at that level, and then you have two guys that can be all defense candidates. And if Mitch plays all year, the right amount of games, he could be an all defense candidate.
Yep.
So when you got three other guys like that, and then you bring in a former sixth man of the year, you got a guy who's really tearing up Eurobasket right now with his energy and his excitement. This dude, Yabusele, people are sleeping on this dude, bro.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is going to be, there's going to be a Yabu hive. I'm telling you.
This has Nick's Homer written all over it, bro.
I'm just saying that this dude is, man, Yabusele is everything the Knicks love in a player, bro.
What a second scoring big. I never knew the Knicks even knew what that was. Two bigs that can score at the same time? What is that?
And and then you got a former sixth man of the year who can still light it up.
Coach, what if I told you that I think that Jordan Clarkson is a starter?
I wouldn't hate that, honestly. I wouldn't be against it.
Cowboy Bob, what if I told you that I think Jordan Clarkson is a starter and the second unit off the bench is Josh, Deuce, Yabusele, and Mitch?
I'm not like
playing with a different offensive player every night, depending on the team matchups.
I'm not liking it. And the main reason why I'm not liking it is because
I didn't say Huck Porty.
No.
Because I didn't say Huckaporty.
No. It's because of what Clarkson can bring. I think is more needed on the second team with McBride, Hart, Yabusele. Like him and Yabusele can both just feed off of each other. They can control that offense when we need a bucket. Them two can get it for us. But as a starter, we limit ourselves similar to what we did with Josh Hart last year, where Josh Hart was trying to do more than what was needed than him just doing what he has to do. And I don't want to put Clarkson in that position. I want him to be comfortable. Like you said, Coach, former sixth man of the year. but he's leading us to where he can step in and actually take over, and not even just help out those guys.
But why keep Deuce in a 25-minute per game role, and then have that dude come here and play 16 minutes?
That's
flip that and have Clarkson play 25 minutes and have Deuce play 16 minutes.
because I still believe that McBride still has something left. I think last year he was still injured, and the previous year before that he was backing injuries. So for me, I think McBride has a lot more to show, and I think it'll be easier for Clarkson to just come in, play his game, and not have to, because when you start asking players to do stuff, sometimes they get out of their own right. They start doing more than what was needed or more than what is asked, and it could backfire really bad. So for me, I just would want McBride to come in, do what
I
he
was
got.
dating a girl one time. She backfired with a sundress on. And talking about Taco Bell. Man, that thing messed my stomach up.
The blasphemy that I hear about, you want to talk about homers, and you want to talk about people that make excuses for our Knicks and want to hold guys on pedestals that they shouldn't. How many times has Deuce McBride averaged double figures in this league?
None.
Wait,
Jordan,
double figures?
never.
Oh.
Jordan Clarkson has averaged double figures every year in his career, even his rookie year. Look it up.
No,
The dude's a straight bucket, and he's still a bucket. Whether he shoots too much or his percentage, blasey, whatever. The thing is, he's a little older now. He seems to have become, like these last couple seasons, if you look at his stats, he has more assists. He's been more a willing passer later now in his career. Okay. I think because he's a consummate professional, he's a pro's pro. He came here because he wants to win. He took the vet minimum. Okay. Come here. All because you start, it doesn't mean you got to sit here and jack it up. He can be the secondary ball handler that Brunson needs, and Brunson can be off ball. And then when substitutions happen and Brunson, goes to the bench and different subs come in, then Clarkson can take on more of a scoring role, with that group. Like it all because Clarkson's in the game. He doesn't have to be the primary scorer. He just needs to take over the scoring load when the guys that score all the time, Cat and Brunson, are all on the bench, which we hoped for with Bridges last year and McBride.
Okay.
Which sometimes Bridges did it and McBride rarely did it. Like when Cat and Brunson were out of the game, we never knew who the hell was in this. Sometimes OG would have this crazy game and get hot, but then OG either had like a high 20s or 8.
Yeah, but I feel you. I think the reason why it's something interesting is because if you put Clarkson on the floor, you do two things. You unlock Jalen Brunson's spot up 3-point shooting game, and you stop defenses from running out exotic defenses from the get-go, right? Instead of trying to figure it out during the game, you could just prevent it by just having Clarkson in the game. Deuce McBride is going to do neither. Now, will he provide better defense? Of course, because Clarkson's not a stopper.
Yeah.
We know that, from jump, right? Brunson's not a stopper. We know that from jump. If you value close games, if you want to see, 110 to 107, start Deuce. If you want to see 135 to 123, start Clarkson, right? That's basically where we are with it. Are both comfortable in those roles? I would say just off GP alone, just off of what dudes accomplished in the league, if it's just merit-based, it's not even a conversation, right? One dude only starts when another guy gets hurt, and another guy is known around the league for being a pure, certified bucket getter, regardless of what defense they're facing.
Right. And this is a guy that's a career 16-point-a-game scorer with only 27 minutes a game.
Yeah. Bucket.
I mean, that's and really last year was the first time he, got hurt per se,
Right.
Injury. Like he's actually been pretty
Durable.
Pretty durable his whole career.
And throughout his career, one of the things that we don't talk about enough about Jordan Clarkson is he's played with all types of guards. It doesn't matter. He doesn't need a specific guard type to play with that unlocks him, right? Like, for instance, Quentin Grimes is an excellent guard if you have a dribble penetrating guard that can kick out to him so that he can shoot and score and attack off the dribble, right? But if Grimes has to put the ball on the floor, you feel me? Now, imagine if a team throws an exotic defense at the Knicks with Brunson, Clarkson, and Cat on the floor. As soon as, say, for instance, two wings, double Brunson in the corner, as soon as Clarkson gets the ball, you already know Mitch Robinson's getting alley-oop. You already know Mitch is going to get the lob. Off rip, you don't even see Mitch in the picture. But as soon as Clarkson gets the ball with a full head of steam coming down, if you crash off the three, the lob going to Mitch, and he's going to yell when he dunks. Ah! Right? Deuce gets that ball. Deuce is going to hop in place with the crazy dribble, give it to somebody, whoever, give it to Josh, and Josh going to give it back to him and say, do something. And then he's going to pull up from 16 feet and shoot a rainbow, right? Hopefully it'll go in, right? That's Deuce, right? Because he's not gonna finish at the rim, right? And he's not gonna knock down threes at a clip that's respectable for an NBA guard. No disrespect to Deuce, but we just talk about who guys are, right? So, but hey, that's all I got, man.
Real quick. Last time he was a starter, he averaged 21 points a game. That was only 2 years ago.
I was just going to say this real quick, though. McBride's inconsistencies, Clarkson can help. That's why I want him off the bench. But I understand y'all points. That's all I had to say. But
all right, y'all. I'm going to get out of here.
Go, New York, go.
Yo, peace, everybody. Thank y'all for coming.
Peace.
All right, y'all.